I don't think Jose Ramirez checks his social media. I think we know who checks Jose Ramirez's social media, but maybe he saw it. Maybe he saw everybody who said they were worried about Jose Ramirez. He thought, what, you're worried about me? And then he goes out and he does something that he has never done in his brilliant career to date, making everybody happy and chant, Jose, 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 making you think, are the Guardians starting to turn this thing around?
You are Locked On Guardians, your daily podcast on the Cleveland Guardians, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We had some queuing. It's okay. Those happen. Gosh, first time seeing my reflection. I feel like I look a little red there. Too much time in the sun for me today. Want to thank everyone for joining us on a fun show. We're going to be mostly positive in this one. But first, I want to say download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMOB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Want to give a shout out to Everydayer Jace Shindo for his positive comments yesterday. And saying that, let's move into a fun one. This is in sad news. Well, not sad. Justin's getting to go and get married in a very nice place. This is going to be Justin's final show for a few days. He's coming back. Let's not make it like he's...
You're not going to get rid of me that easy.
Yeah. But he's going to be coming back, so you're stuck with me next week, I think, essentially. But I did want to give that heads up so we can just watch the numbers plummet. But when he comes back, we'll have this great stretch to talk about, because in the last 5 series, I'm going to throw this out there before we get into Jose's historic night, 3-1-1 in their last 5, 3-0-1 in their last 4. But this all began and did everything with Jose. And I got to say, the funny bit to me in this game was Jose's last at bat. Now, only one Guardian/Indian has ever hit 4 home runs in a game. It was Rocky Colavito. Jose hits a single, gets the run in, and Ahmed kind of gives up running between second and third, lets himself get tagged out. Jose kind of looked pissed about getting caught. Like, he tried to take the extra base and he did not look, am I wrong? Like, he looked pissed off that Ahmed didn't extend it longer so he could get, like, Jose being Jose, he wanted to get that extra base. He is always pushing the envelope. He is such a smart base runner. Didn't he look pissed off as he was coming out? He did not look happy, even though he had 3 home runs and it wasn't going to change anything in this situation. He still wanted to get to second.
I would imagine maybe he was a little more pissed off that he got that extra chance, because there, it didn't seem like after this other at bat he was going to get to bat again after the last one. So he had an extra shot at 4 home runs in the game for the first time, and I think maybe he was just mad that he wasted that. It is ironic that his last at bat ended up being a ground out. Didn't it go as a ground out at the end of the game?
Ground out, double play.
Yeah, so ironic that he goes 3
got an RBI on it. The rare double play ground out RBI, right?
Does that count as an RBI? Yeah, but you can't. But automatically, you don't get a run driven in for that. So
okay, but he still got the run across.
Yeah, you can't get an RBI in a double play. It depends on how you score it, I guess. This could be one for anybody who's in an official score.
Where's Fever? No, he'll let us know tomorrow.
Yeah, no RBI. It doesn't look like on the box score right now. So we'll see. Maybe they'll change it. I don't know, but it's a double play. It's just an ironic way to end the game, because I was sitting there telling my fiance, I said, nobody said a home run. Only said 4 home runs since Rocky Colavito on June 10th. And I'm like, it's June 8th. Like, that's pretty close, pretty funny. And of course, he almost did it to Corey Kluber. He hit 2 off of Corey Kluber. Sad for Corey Kluber. Very ironic that
could this be the death knell?
He was out there trying to save that pitching staff. They've been beat up after going to New York this week, and that pitching staff has been decimated. So
I did have Aaron Bachman say, is he secretly a sleeper agent? Like the Rays playoff game, this game.
The last 2 trips to Cleveland, man, for him, he's not going to want to come back for alumni night whenever he's done with this whole thing. And they had when he got sent to the bullpen, I saw on all the Boston sports writers had a sit down with him, and he was just saying, like, I'm not pitching well. I got to do what I can do to help this team until I figure it out. And, he didn't really make any bones about it, which, we expect from Corey Kluber. That's who he is. I just think it's interesting. I don't want to say it's 2 ships passing in the night, but not that we were doing the podcast back then, but how many times do you sit there on Twitter or just in general talking to yourself about all the things Corey Kluber did over the years, like magical nights, the 17 strikeout night against the Cardinals.
He's the best pitcher I experienced.
Yeah, I mean, every night he was setting new records in franchise history, and then tonight Jose, makes franchise history against him, which is just so ironic. Those two playing together, and I know back earlier this week after Jose had that rough night, and he almost hit that home run on Tuesday night. He almost hit a home run. It was very close to tying that game up in the ninth inning for them. And then he had the double in the win Wednesday. And and I were kind of talking about, he hasn't been the same. Like he's struggled since that St. Louis series. He had the walk-off hit, but he didn't really do well in Baltimore, which is ironic. Or no, he did do well in Baltimore. It was Minnesota he scuffled because usually he crushes Minnesota.
Yeah, because he doesn't do weekends.
Yeah. Jose Ramirez is kind of the mailman, I guess.
Yes, he doesn't deliver on Sundays.
They work on Saturdays. I don't know. But that game, by the way, Jose Ramirez, we talked about how he was slipping very close to the below league average offensive line. He was like at 100 even. And tonight with that performance, he is now 113. So he raised his offensive line to 113 WRC plus, and how has 9 home runs for the team lead. He took the lead from Josh Naylor in one night. Josh Naylor still has the lead at 114 WRC plus, but I don't know. I just want to appreciate Jose Ramirez. I heard the one thing on the broadcast too. They were saying about how, he's never really publicly, he's not really a me kind of guy. He doesn't, seek the spotlight. We know that for him staying in Cleveland. And he doesn't really show a lot of emotion while he's playing. But, when he signed the long-term contract, he talked about wanting to be in Cleveland. He wanted to, he was proud. He wanted to have his number retired here. He wanted to win a World Series, which, everyone's going to say that. And, he was thankful, or he wanted to be remembered as one of their best franchise players. And now he has 200 career home runs. And I think that's special because, and we should, take some time. Everybody should take some time to stop and think about that. Not a lot of guys.
No one. It's not just a lot.
Yeah, nobody has chosen Cleveland and has said, I want to do this.
Cookie. I'm sorry. Give Cookie his credit.
And to Cookie's credit too, he is on a lot of lists for franchise accolades too. He is up there, I think, in strikeout and some other things, at least for a single season. But career-wise, Jose Ramirez, wants to be remembered as one of the greatest players to play for this franchise of all time, and it's just special. We haven't heard that in Cleveland a whole lot, and we were talking this week, like I said, about how he's been struggling and he just hasn't really been the same. And then he has one of those nights that reminds you that he's still Jose Ramirez and he's still doing things that he's never done before. And it'd be great if this was the start of him just going back to who he used to be. And not that it's been a long time since he was a great player. It was only before he broke the thumb or had the thumb tendon issue last year. So it's not like it's been, it wasn't like Albert Pujols' decline, where he was terrible forever and then had one last hurrah. So, this is not that case, but.
Just to piggyback on your thoughts. So with tonight, the 2 home runs move him in a tie. He was 10th all time. Now he's tied for 9th with Travis Hafner, 14 behind Andre Thornton. His total bases, he has 10th all time. So he's trying to move up there. Doubles, he's tied with Ken Keltner for 6th. In terms of WAR, it's going to change now because it was a positive game. Heading in tonight, tied for 8th all time with Kenny Lofton for WAR. So it's, we're talking about like franchise stuff for him. He is someone where you go through the list, stolen bases. He's 7th in the history of this franchise.
He's going to be top 10 a lot of places.
Yeah, he's 5th in extra base hits. The only guys ahead of him with multi-home run games were Hal Trotsky, Albert Bell, Jim Thome, and blanking on the 4th guy.
History's not my forte.
It was of course, Sarah Langs, who's awesome at all things, was the one. I need to dig that out. Who had immediately had the information. No one's better than her when it comes to those stats. But yeah, she had that. Hey, Ryan Garco's top 10 in something. That was a mind blower that I just saw that.
What is he top 10 in?
Hit by pitch. He is 7th all time.
Andres Jimenez is going to catch him there, probably.
Yeah. Jimenez is not even in the top 10. Garco. But I don't know what power speed is, but Jose is number 1 by 43 points. Joe Carter was the other guy. That's who it was. Joe Carter was the multi-home run guy. But there's some things where he absolutely is just, destroys things. And I think you're right. It is important to recognize he's already one of the 10 greatest hitters in the history of this franchise. And he's just going to keep pushing his way upwards. 9th all time in WAR. If he can get 1.4 more WAR, he'll pass Larry Doby. That's pretty elite
So,
company. The 38.8 was just offensive WAR that you side with Lofton. I messed that up.
Okay, what is Lofton? I was going to say, because Lofton's a borderline Hall of Fame.
Lofton's career WAR is 48.6, but his offense 41.8 heading into today. But offensive
again, Lofton's what?
48.6 and Jose is 41.8.
I mean, okay, I think we can say that Kenny Lofton should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, Kenny Lofton falling off on the first ballot is one of the greatest travesties in the history of voting. And like, especially like, listen, I'm going to get people mad at me. Lofton should still be on. Lofton is a better player than Vizquel. Vizquel keeps hanging around. We don't even have to get into the myriad of off the field stuff with him, but just like in terms of baseball play, Kenny Lofton was better than Omar Vizquel. Full stop.
I want to keep talking about Jose. I want to ask you a couple of questions. So
let's do that after the break.
Well, you might want to get some tickets to go to the Guardians game this weekend. I know they've got a big promotion with Tristan McKenzie's jersey giveaway. Maybe you'll see Jose Ramirez take another shot at the 4 home run game, or maybe move up some more record-breaking stats. But you can use the Game Time app to get tickets. They have deals on last-minute tickets and flash deals, so you can always find tickets for the best price, the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, even though the weather looks good this weekend, knock on wood. Forget planning months. I know I did.
Yes. So blame Justin.
Yeah. I'd be screwing myself there if that was the case. But you can get images of seats before you buy them, so you know exactly what to expect. You get tickets in a matter of seconds. They'll be sent right to your phone. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off when you're getting those tickets you're so excited about. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And remember to check out this upcoming series on Sirius XM against the Houston Astros. Just type Guardians. Make it easy on you. I do want to throw one quick note before we do about Jose. I got to do a self-correction. Someone in here recently asked us when I thought Chase Delauder would get to Lake County, and I totally had the brain fart and flipped those minor league affiliates again because they weren't always. Because it's So I just want to say to the person I said 2 weeks, that's not the case at all. I'm sorry. I thought that like in a few weeks he could be out of Arizona, not necessarily jumping.
I guess it depends on where his volume is at. I think sometime this month he'll be out of Arizona. Speaking of exciting things, but. Okay, so we both think Lofton's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I would if Tim Raines is in, and I'm a big Hall guy, but Jose Ramirez is automatically already a Cleveland Guardians Hall of Famer. Obviously, that's not even a question. My question is, does Jose Ramirez get a statue? And does his helmet stay off? Is his helmet off on the statue if he gets one? Because that would be fitting, right?
I think the one thing that's going to hold him back is he is a great player, but I don't know if he has a sexy stat. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't necessarily have the home runs. He doesn't he does a lot of things well, and he's 9th in home runs. We'll see how high he can get, but he's not going to reach the tier of that he's not going to probably be. Before I make a stupid comment, like he can probably get top 5, but. No, I guess a few good years, maybe he could get to number 2. But, like, I don't know. So much of him is being such a well-rounded plus player who does everything well. I mean, even today, it's like this game could have been tied before that breakout inning if he doesn't make that ridiculous throw that they win the overturning on, because otherwise that's a 2-run home run, and then the game's tied. And who knows, maybe with the pressure they're playing under, it's another like, oh, this is happening again, and they don't explode. So, I mean, that's the thing with him. Like, he should. Like anyone out there who's thinking I'm hating, no, he should. He's gonna be a Mount Rushmore player for me when he retires, in terms of stats. And if he is, then no, the helmet should be on the ground,
right by his feet. Yeah, I think it should.
Right.
At least it's got to be lifted off his head. Like it's got to look like it's ready to fall off.
I just think it's going to be hard to do that lifting and make it not look weird. So I think you got to put it by his feet.
That's fair. Upside down. Yeah, I can see that. The thing that's tough about a statue is, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are mad that Thome got one, and I'm sorry, I don't care. I think Jim Thome is my all-time favorite player, and running away as a kid. The reason I am such a big baseball fan between that and my dad.
And also, he is the home run king, which is the sexy stat. And it's not even close. He's got 337. Bell's got 242.
And Jose's probably not going to catch either of those. Guys,
he'll get to 240. He's at 200 right now. He'll pass Bell.
He's not going to catch Thome.
No, the 337 is probably too hard for him to catch, but he'll pass Bell at 242.
But he's
got to hit 42 in 5 years. He can do that. That's 8 a year. He has a chance to Thome.
People didn't want Jim Thome to have a statue because he left. So, and the Guardians, what they've done historically too, this goes against what they've done. There's no numbers on that team that are retired that aren't in the Hall of Fame, except for I think Bob Lemon is the only number retired. Bob Lemon's not a Hall of Famer.
Isn't he?
There's somebody up there who's not a Hall.
Is it like Ray Chapman or someone since he died in a game?
I don't think his number's up in the shipping containers.
There's gonna be somebody who's so mad at us because I'm so bad with numbers. But
they haven't retired, except for maybe I'm wrong. I think
the Hall of Fame. He's not. Let me put it that way. I'm going to be.
Bob Lemon's not in the Hall of Fame. I didn't think he was.
No, he is. He is baseball Hall of Famer, inducted in 1976.
Okay, there's somebody up there who's not in the Hall. Is it Mel? No, Mel Harder's in, right?
No, Mel. I don't think Mel Harder is. Bob Lemon was like one of the best pitchers in baseball at his peak.
There's somebody's number. Okay. There's somebody's number up in the.
While you're talking, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, there's somebody's number up in there.
Harder, I do not think is in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So that would be it.
Someone's number up there is not in the Hall of Fame, and they retired that. Obviously, Jackie Robinson's everywhere. So, but typically they don't retire numbers unless you've made the Hall of Fame, and everybody who has a statue as well in that ballpark also has been a Hall of Famer. So that's the thing that probably goes against him is historically they have always waited until guys. Thome wasn't inducted yet before he got his statue, I don't think, but maybe he was, but he was going to get in anyway, first ballot. So that's the only thing I can think about with Ramirez. But you know what? I would make a special exception. Even if Jose Ramirez doesn't make the Baseball Hall of Fame,
it's a travesty.
Well,
yeah, Mel Harder is not. Mel Harder is
okay,
not.
So
he's the one.
I knew there was, and his number is up there retired, I think. So
because he's near the top in a lot of categories, but he's only a 4-time All-Star. He was like 223 and 186. He was a guy who pitched a lot of times. Like he set the franchise record for wins, games started, and inning pitch, which all got broken by Bob Feller. But then he stuck around so long.
So sorry.
Many players nicknamed the Chief. Those nicknames don't exactly occur anymore.
Interesting. Well, I apologize to anybody whose historian was like yelling at their phone or
Bob Lemon was really flipping good.
I knew there was somebody whose number is retired by the team who's not in the Hall of Fame. So there's one.
No, it is. It's Mel Harder. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is one. So I don't know. I guess the Hall of Fame thing is the issue for Jose and the statue and the number retirement thing. But I would say you make an exception because this is the one guy who is a superstar. And I know people outside of Cleveland may not think he is, and people say nationally he may not. He's not the Guardians don't have a face of the franchise. Well, that might be in the eyes of somebody looking on the outside looking in, but from inside Cleveland, he is the face of the franchise. And I would say because he chose Cleveland, because he stayed here, because he's so great, I think whether or not he makes it to Cooperstown, I think that you retire his number and you give him a statue.
He should make it to Cooperstown. Like, I know he doesn't have quite the hardware, but it's like, I think we're getting smarter to the fact, like, it doesn't matter if you have 5 MVPs. It's more important if you had like 8 top 5 MVP finishes. Like, luckily we're getting smarter in baseball about
and the bar for third baseman isn't that high, to be honest, because there's not a lot of third basemen.
And third base is hard. Yeah, it is not. But sometimes, listen, Scott Rowland should have got. He's finally in, right? Like he finally got elected.
He is finally in.
Yeah, but it's like it might take a little while for Jose, just like it took a little while for Rowland. But Rowland should have been in. Do my moment and stump for Cardinals fans. Jim Edmonds probably fell off too early as well. But Rowland, yeah, there's that. I don't know, and that's the thing. Like, can we just be honest about the fact that the Hall of Fame has more so than the awards voting, a massive built-in bias based on the larger media bases? That's just always good. But it's the truth. Like, I don't think it's as big of a deal anymore when we talk about like awards voting because there's like 3 per city, and some of those people aren't great. We know that, but once you're a Hall of Fame voter, you're, I believe, a Hall of Fame voter until you give it up.
you still have people who think that sending in a blank ballot is abstaining from voting. That goes like there are people who do that. There's somebody in Cleveland every year who sends in a blank ballot and says, "Oh, I'm abstaining." It's not abstaining. You're actively hurting.
Yes,
you're actually hurting.
are.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's appreciate everybody else who had a good game tonight and talk about the Houston series in just a moment.
Birddogs. I love these pants, or in this case, my shorts. Just comfortable. They are a very comfortable short. They have great utility. They feel good. They look good. They have some hilarious names that I am not allowed to repeat on this podcast. Go check them out for yourself if you have the internal mind of a 12-year-old, which I always do. And, again, I'll point out, this is what you get free. If you're watching online, you get your Birddogs Yeti style tumbler, solid tumbler, as well as just great shorts. I keep saying I'm probably going to get another one of those tumblers because I want to try their pants. If their shorts is good, I'm going to go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. Enter the promo code LockedOnMLB for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you.
If some is good, more is better, right?
Yes, exactly.
Check out Guardians and Astros Friday night on your SiriusXM app. That will be it'll be Logan Allen. And I don't know who's pitching for Houston.
Is it Christian Javier? It's Christian Javier's one. We've got
Logan
Brandon
Allen.
Bilac in one, and JP France. Are those the three starters?
France goes Saturday. So check that out on SiriusXM. Search Guardians. Man, everybody hit tonight on this game, which is good. And they should because
Rosario with that hit in the ninth was his. He was the last one to join the parade.
And how many times this year? I know. Look, it sucks. It does suck because I feel bad for Corey Kluber. I mean, I was really skeptical that he was going to get a contract this offseason because he was really bad at the end of last year, and then he gave that walk-off homer. I was like, man, I hope that's not it for him. But
pitching is really just hard to. I mean, Boston started a 32-year-old guy who's been terrible in the minors.
I don't think majors. They can't afford to cut him.
Yeah, I mean, they're just in this. Pitching is hard to find, and
they're paying him a lot of money.
Yeah, and Kluber is a guy who's been relatively rubber armed the past few years. Still has a little bit left. Will travel. Will eat innings. It's a little sad because he's not he's the best pitcher I saw in my life. CC Sabathia started to peak right before he left. Cy Young year was the second to last year. Cliff Lee was great, but it was only 2 to 3 years again, peaking near the end. Kluber was the best pitcher in baseball for a period there. And we got 3 Cy Young awards when he was in Cleveland. He almost single-handedly carried this team to the postseason as a starter.
2 Cy Young awards,
or to the World Series, I should say. Great guy, great pitcher. Yeah. And I would, based on his peak, he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's not. He didn't start till he was 27 in the big leagues. But I think he's a guy we should discuss in the future that maybe he should get his number retired because what his peak was is unlike any peak in my lifetime.
Yeah, his peak is definitely the best post-World War II for Cleveland, without a doubt. He should definitely he'll be in the Guardians Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about that. I know someone's going to say somewhere that he didn't play for the Guardians, whatever. He's going to be in the Cleveland Baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah. Don't care.
And there'll be others saying that he was a choker, and that drives me insane.
If you exclusively just watched Game 7 of the World Series, I feel bad for you.
And then the next year, where he was hurt.
17, remember? Yeah.
But he was hurt. It's still that's always going to be my one issue. My biggest issue always with Tito will be Carrasco was great that year. Why did we pitch hurt Corey Kluber twice? That's always going to be the thing that just sits in my craw to the end of time.
So, but this year, there would have been times with this offense where a guy like Corey Kluber, who's been struggling, turns it around. Look at Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn was pitching like crap, and he came in against Cleveland and dominated them. So there are times this year that this offense would have struggled against Corey Kluber. They did not. They hit Matt Dermody enough, which is good. They hit 2 home runs. Both were by Jose. He had the 4 hits, 3 runs. They did enough against him. They torched Corey Kluber, unfortunately for Corey. But they did exactly what they should have done. I mean, Josh Naylor, 2 hits. Andres Jimenez, 2 hits. Will Brennan, he got thrown out at second that one time, I know, but it didn't really matter. The game was up.
4 home runs, 3 since he killed that bird. Just saying.
He is going to get a visit from PETA because, man, it seems like he's really wearing it with a badge of honor now. But
no, he's the baseball gods accepted his sacrifice. That is clear.
Miles Straw poked one. That was a hard hit ball.
And he has struggled with it feels like he struggles in those situations with runners on base. That has been a struggle for him this year. That's anecdotally. I didn't look at the numbers, but I think he did. Right? Yeah, I that was a big hit there. I mean, that was part of 8 hits in a row. That was kind of amazing.
Bell hit the ball
ended
hard
with
twice.
Ahmed.
Yeah, you know what? Ahmed had the double play. I know someone's going to be like, God, they won. You guys are still complaining about Ahmed. I mean, he had the double play right before Jose hit a solo home run in the first inning, and then he had the double play at the end there. So I know, we're not, but he still got a hit when it mattered.
No, it was when the game was out of reach.
I've given up on the Ahmed thing. I really have. I don't know.
It's not about him today. Everyone else, is like Brendan has stayed hot. I'm just having fun with the Ahmed stuff since it seems to really tweak some people out there.
It really does.
I'm gonna have fun with it. But
you want a negative.
Brennan,
bullpen was kind of iffy.
99 took care of stuff again.
He walked a batter though. He threw 9 pitches, got 1 out, and walked a batter. So 4 of his 9 pitches were balls. De Los Santos had another walk and a hit, so that's
he had 2 base runners, but did he also have 2 strikeouts? I want to say
he did. And Curry got hit a little bit in the 9th inning there too.
But got the DP.
Matter. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, if you want to nitpick with the bullpen,
Savali,
the last time Savali pitched, someone got mad at us because we talked about Tristan start because on Sunday Tristan was.
Savali and Kluber, and I did it again. Kluber, no. Savali and Bieber are kind of similar in their starts now. It's like don't miss any bats, but don't give up. Give up a few runs. Just not a ton of traffic on the bases. He had six runners and nearly 6 innings, but he did give up a home run and he did give up 2 runs. Like I said, this very easily, if not for that Jose play and a good challenge by
a closer game. Yeah.
This would have been you'd have given up 3 and. That's not as strong of a start. Like it looked like a really good start, and then he just, as he kept going, they started to get to him. Tristan Cassis, we talked about yesterday's show. And I'll say that first inning strikeout was like, it's a big moment for Savali, and that was a beautiful pitch.
By the way, the Twins. We're talking about upcoming series now. We had to talk about the Astros. The Twins lost on Thursday as well to the Rays again. So there are no teams now in the Central over 500. They are all below 500. That's quite the badge of honor to wear. The Twins will play the Blue Jays this weekend, who I think the Blue Jays are starting to get hot. Did they not win on Thursday?
Yeah.
They did. They beat the Astros. Yes, they beat the Astros. Yeah. The Blue Jays are starting to get hot, which they've needed for a while. Actually, they sweep the Astros this week. They did. Wow, they swept the Astros. The Astros are coming in losers of at least 3 in a row.
Didn't they just beat up on the White Sox or the Twins, though? I think Houston just beat up on the Twins.
They lost to the Angels on Sunday, so that's 4 straight losses. I'm just kind of going back to their schedule. But so the Astros have lost at least 4 in a row. But the Twins got lost to the Blue Jays or the Braves this week. They put the Blue Jays this weekend, who are hot. So the Guardians.
Yeah, but they took 3 or 4 from the Angels in that weekend series. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins. That was the recent one. But they took 3 out of 4 from the Angels, and then lost 3 out of 4 to Toronto. So they've been unbalanced, which is what you expect for a team that's they're 9 games over 500. They're starting to rebound in Houston.
They still, you know what though, Yordan Alvarez did get hurt tonight, so there is that. So if Yordan's not in that lineup this weekend, that is a big deal. Jose Altuve is still coming back from injury. You know who we're going to see that people are going to complain about this weekend is probably Yainer Diaz. Yeah. He is really hitting the ball and he could always hit in the minors. The hit tool wasn't really the question. He's definitely not a catcher. He doesn't walk. He's Oscar Gonzalez. Truthfully, that's what he is. He's a butcher wherever you put him defensively. He doesn't get on base, but he hits a little bit. Like right now, Yainer Diaz has a 273 batting average, an OBP below 300, a 103 WRC plus because he's slugging a little bit, and he has a 2.4% walk rate. So he is essentially Oscar Gonzalez, and that's why they traded him. Also because he doesn't have a defensive home, truthfully. He's not good enough to be a first baseman. He certainly can't catch, although he's got a great arm. Never had a bad arm, just doesn't do anything else well. But I'm sure somebody will complain about him this weekend. But Guardians are only 1.5 games out. This could be an interesting weekend. So you got Logan Allen and Christian Javier on Friday night. Christian Javier is really, really good. Although he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, so you kind of wonder about his arm.
Did someone just say the World Baseball Classic affects arms and has a negative effect on players?
Trey Turner has not been good since the World Baseball Classic. There have been a couple guys. I don't know.
Jose Altuve is back with them. Speaking of the World Baseball Classic and
he just again. JP France has been a nice story for Houston so far this year. And I don't know anything about Brandon Bielak.
Bielak is one of those Notre Dame guys who was absolutely terrible at Notre Dame because they couldn't develop to save their lives. And then was a smart pick because, hey, might as well pick from that program and see if you can develop. He's a 5. He's maybe more of a 6, honestly, kind of a swing guy.
So is France.
But he's a useful depth arm. One of those guys that I thought there was maybe a chance at more, but I think he's more of a 5-6, really.
Yeah, you got McKenzie Saturday and Bieber Sunday, so this should be an interesting series. And like I said,
Jose Abreu continues to be one of the worst hitters in baseball, right?
He is. He finally hit a home run a few days ago or a week ago, but he has been. I mean, it's hard to believe that Josh Bell, who has Josh Bell is down to, and he's up to a 94 WRC plus, so that's fine. Jose Abreu though is at 50, so he is. He would be the worst among all Guardians qualified batters. Even Straw and Rosario are better than Jose Abreu right now offensively. So, yeah, he's got 1 home run this year, and he's got 23 RBI, but it's pretty bad. It's bad. So this should be an interesting series. I mean, let's see what the Twins do. They're, like I said, they're 1.5 out. Be interesting to see if they get this thing going.
Yep. We want to take a moment and thank you all for listening this week. Remember to comment daily. We respond to all comments that are not insulting. Thank you to everyone who is
everybody be good for Jeff
Guardians listeners. Let's have fun next week. Let's continue to keep this hot streak going. Let's have fun. It's always good to be Houston. I'm always going to be petty and dislike that Houston squad for being a bunch of no good, dirty cheaters. Thank you all for listening, doing your part, and go Guardians, go.
Jose.